The knives were out for Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, and in terms of performance, they should still be out. This is not a good performance. This was a thing where, cheat code Mbappe, and then after the equalizer, they kind of raised their level a little bit to score a second goal. But I think what you saw, though, and you saw this in the City game too, you saw a reaction from the players. I think the players don't want Xabi Alonso to move on. And I wonder, because all those stories about Arbeloa, those are all very well-sourced stories from people who are very close to Florentino.
Yeah.
And it seems so stupid to even think about ditching Xabi Alonso right now for Florentino when you still have, for Arbeloa, right? It's one thing if you say, hey, look, Zinedine Zidane's coming back for, third time lucky, right?
Yeah.
Or Ancelotti's going to go and do both jobs. And look, we can still win the fourth thing. But you've got four things at stake. You do not have a better chance of winning them with Arbeloa. Arbeloa means reset and think of next season.
Yeah.
So that would have made no sense. I wonder if Florentino, in his infinite wisdom, said, hey, let me put these rumors out, see if it motivates the players a little bit.
Yeah.
And if so, job done.
Takes a late penalty won and converted by Harry Kane for Bayern to avoid defeat at home to bottom of the table Mainz. Gab, what went wrong?
I don't think this is that deep in terms of over-analysis. They had 4.24 expected goals. They created a ton of chances against a team that went there, set up to defend, and they didn't take them. And when you don't take them, you find yourself in that situation. That guy Pulaski, who gave away the penalty, also scored a goal. Leonard Carl scoring again.
Yeah.
It's a bit special, a bit exciting. And then, the shirt pull on Kane leaves you no choice. I don't think you're concerned about the record. I don't think you should be concerned about the record. You're 9 points clear at the top of the table. Move on, and soon you'll have your break. Rafinha scores twice, and Barcelona defeat Osasuna 2-0. Jules, I'm guessing you will say you're not impressed.
It was one of those games again where they were so superior to the opposition. I think the expected goal is super high. I thought Lamine looked great again. But they don't take many of those chances. It's the goals that you score. I mean, the first one is in transition. Okay, great. The second one, you'll be lucky. And defensively, you look a bit shaky at times. Obviously, again, for the same reason that we mention all the time. So
they got very lucky with the disallowed goal because it could have been 1-1 because the guy gets pushed into Joan Garcia by Eric Garcia.
In his mask. But they were still they're still superior to Osasuna without a problem. But it's just, they're not easy wins for them.
It won't surprise people who deal in stereotypes that Osasuna's coach is Italian and set up with the super catenaccio to end all super catenaccios. Juventus make it 5 wins and 6 as Juan Cabal, of all people, gives them 3 points away to Bologna. Jules Spalletti says it's the most important victory since coming to the club.
Yeah, and that might be true, first of all, because Bologna were above them in the table. So you win, you overtake them in the table, because also, Milan drop points, because Napoli drop points ahead of you. Okay, they are a bit clearer than you, but still it was probably the weekend where you had to win. Inter won, so it's not like everything went your way, but pretty much everything else went your way, apart from the Inter result. So helped by the fact that Bologna went down to 10 for the last 25 minutes or so, that Jonathan David was still not very good, but it's a big win.
It's a really big win, I think, for him, and it was important too, coming off a really bad performance against Pafos, not a good one against Napoli either. 2 straight defeats. I thought they played really well against a good opponent.
Sticking with Juventus, Gab, the Agnelli family has turned down an offer from minority shareholders, Tether, that value the club at 1.1 billion euros.
For those who don't know, Tether, they're a cryptocurrency outfit based in El Salvador. They specialize in stablecoin, but they have 11.3% of the club. The weird thing about this is it values the club at 1.1 billion, which you can go and debate, but how vehemently they came out. John Elkann, who normally doesn't get involved, comes out and he's wearing a Juve hoodie rather than normally wears a suit.
Yeah.
And he's standing out in front of the historic bench at the Juve Museum, I think, where the club was actually founded in 18 whatever. He pointed out that it's been in his family for 100 years and the club's not for sale. This felt like a rallying cry. It also leaked that they were unaware that Tether had made this offer.
Right.
That's your minority partner. So I find that a little bit hard to believe. I'm wondering if this whole thing was orchestrated just to give the team a boost and show some pride. Luis Enrique sends out the B team ahead of Paris Saint-Germain's trip to Qatar, and Paris Saint-Germain, and they win 3-2 away to Metz. Jules, nice to see Desiree Doué get a whole 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's good. He came on in the Champions League midweek and was very good in that game at Bilbao. He scored this time when there was forget about rest defense for Metz on that goal.
Well, it's the classic thing, right? Counter-attack off an attacking corner, which should never happen.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No rest defense at all from Metz point of view in there. Really weird, but good goal from him. Let's hope that he can stay fit now for a bit longer than the last time that he was fit, because that didn't last long. And from a PSG point of view, they conceded 2 goals and they should have done better, although one is a very good finish. But they were already, I think, thinking about the Intercontinental Cup in midweek. And the league, as we know, is not that important for them right now.
Is it still PSG when there's only 3 starters? That is the existential question.
Inter beat Genoa 2-1 to go top of Serie A. Gab, got a bit hairy in the second half, though.
It did, but I'm okay with that because they were 2-0 up and they continued attacking. Ballon d'Or Lautaro again showing the guy plays with so much intensity. The first goal early from Jan Bissek comes because he sprints to keep the ball in play. The second one, man, he goes and he just body checks a defender out of the way, which I absolutely love for a little guy, and then just viciously unloads in the net. They had they obviously no Çalhanoğlu in midfield. They still made it work. Genoa tough out. I'm good. They deserve to be top of the table.
Antoine Griezmann bags the winner as Atletico Madrid beat Valencia 2-1 on Saturday, Gab. Not quite a vintage performance from Atleti, though.
No, and it's more confusion. Valencia are not good. Valencia just chucked out the kids. They have no money. It was interesting because the other goal in this game came from Coquet. And this was the season you would have thought that Coquet and Griezmann were going to slightly fade out of the picture, right? Instead, you need them to kind of stay in touch with the top 4 in a game like this. Griezmann's goal.
Oh, the first touch is incredible.
Timing and touch. That doesn't go away with age. No. I think Cholo has a lot to go and think about if he takes a break this Christmas. And first of all, what's wrong with Julian Alvarez? Because he's disappearing. Joe Bellingham gets sent off and Borussia Dortmund have to play man down for nearly the entire second half. But they hang on for a 1-1 draw at Freiburg. As Lucas Höhler scores a worldie. We saw some great goals this weekend. Yeah. Okay, this isn't going to be number 1, and you'll see why later, for me at least. But that was really good. And Freiburg were very good in that second half with 11 men, obviously, against 10. And Dortmund were good, I thought, in the first half, 11 against 11. Girassi looked sharp. We know there's a bit of a tension with Kovac on when he plays and doesn't play, etc., etc. I thought he did well. I guess you're happy because you got a point with 10 men for 50 minutes or so. But again, you were in the lead and you got pegged back. And I don't think that's good enough from them. Oh, you're going to be mean to Uncle Nico again.
I'm just saying,
And you didn't celebrate. I thought you were going to celebrate Höhler's goal more.
No, it's a great overhead kick. I love it.
And then come on.
It's good. It's really good.
I love it when no names score goals like that. He's 32,
Milan lose top spot in Serie A. They're held at home by Sassuolo 2-2. Gab, was Allegri supposed to tighten up the defense?
Yeah, this is the stuff that annoys me, right? So he talks about how, our defenders lack the perception of danger. Now, when you concede goals to lesser teams at home, and by the way, this season, Milan they've beaten everybody they've played at home, except for the 3 promoted sides. Mm-hmm. They lost to Cremonese, they drew with Pisa, now drew this, right? When you concede goal, when you're a much better team, and you concede goals against a lesser team, it's usually correct me if I'm wrong, it's usually one of these things. It's either transition, or it's a set piece, or it's an individual error, right? There's no real other ways that you're going to concede goals against, or it's somebody shooting from 30 yards out, right?
Yeah.
In this game, both Sassuolo goals come from 1-2s in the box.
Yeah.
When Milan have their whole, to use a basketball term, they have their whole kind of like half-court set out there. They're all standing there. Bro, that's on you. This isn't perception of danger. There's danger. You're ready. That has got to be frustrating. Davide Bartesaghi scoring 2 goals. Both of Milan's goals. Not bad for a left back. Let's take it easy on the new Maldini stuff because he's already like about 3 years behind Maldini, even though he's only, I think, 19 years old or 20. This is the stuff. You've had a whole week to prepare for this. You should be working better on this. Mason Greenwood pops up with a late winner to give Marseille the win over Monaco. Jules, I had this on. So I had Real Madrid, obviously, on one screen. I had the Eagles on another screen. I had who's it plays at night? I had the Juve game on another screen. And I had this on the other screen. Every time I looked up, I thought, all right, Monaco are going to score. Monaco are going to score. Maybe you just looked up at the wrong times.
No. I mean, the L'Equipe front page this morning on Monday morning is a miracle at the Velodrome because this win was miraculous from a Marseille point of view. I mean, outside of Greenwood and Rulli made some incredible saves. On Minamino, for example, a couple of times. Greenwood scored another great goal, but through the whole game, he was so dangerous. If you take them out, the rest was so average from a Marseille point of view, whereas Monaco were really good. Flo Balogun played great, scored one goal that was disallowed for an offside that was fair. However, the other goal that Monaco scored from Lamine Camara should have never, in my eyes, been disallowed. It's a similar incident that we had in the Arsenal Wolves game with Saka leading to the corner for the first Arsenal goal. Balogun is in the box but doesn't touch the ball, doesn't interfere at all, and the referee gives offside on him, which I thought was really, really harsh, really unfair. And for Monaco, they deserved at least a point in that game at the Velodrome. They didn't. They're ninth, Marseille are third. Marseille had to win because both PSG and Lens won. So it's good, especially before the winter break. But it was really unfair on Monaco, I thought. Napoli fall out with Udinese, Gab. 2 defeats in 4 days now. Who is Conte blaming now?
Oh, his old friends. Injuries and fatigue.
Fatigue, yeah.
Because, of course, they had to play in midweek away to Benfica. So they're tired. Look, he's right. De Bruyne is not there. Andre Frank Zambonguisa is not there. Billy Gilmore's not there. Labalka's only just coming back. He's got to somehow make it work with McTominay and Elif Elmas in central midfield. Elif Elmas, wonderful player, but not really central midfield. Now, he does have some kids, and who we talk about are supposed to be really good, Vergara and something. Maybe play these guys once in a while. Maybe see if they can do something. Rather than just go and put it all on intensity, whatever. I think we need to give credit to Udinese too, because I thought they played really well, and Napoli just looked flat. Like, bro, the reality is you have the bigger squad now, right? And you can't just keep showing Lukaku's not coming through that door, although he'll be back soon. Højlund, by the way, one of his worst performances.
Yeah, nothing for him at all.
Maybe worst performance since he wore the United shirt.
Yeah, maybe.
Bayern Leverkusen beat Cologne 2-0, but Jules, never mind that. Yes. Tell me about Martin Terrier's scorpion kick.
Absolutely. You remember the Olivier Giroud goal for Arsenal against Crystal Palace on that New Year's Day in 2015 or so?
Or the René Higuita save?
But this time the cross comes from the other side than the Giroud goal. If you think the ball at that time came from the left, this time it comes from the right. Behind Terrier, who then hit it with his heel basically over his head into the goal. It's an incredible goal for somebody like him who had so much bad luck with injuries since he joined Bayer Leverkusen from Rennes. He was a wonderful player back in Ligue 1, and then that obviously has stopped massively or slowed down massively his progress and his development. But the goal is a reminder that he's a very talented player.
How old is he now? Can he get back to where?
28 maybe. I need to double check.
Right,
but it's a shame. Yeah, but that's a wonderful goal.
All this talk of Paris Saint-Germain and Marseille and Monaco. How about instead we hail the Ligue 1 winter champions, our boy Joseph Ogourlian. Not all about the big boys.
Yeah, very true, Gab. Lens won again this weekend against Nice 2-0 at the Stade Bollard, which they bought, by the way. It was not their stadium. It was the city stadium, if you want. I don't know how you say in English.
Municipality stadium.
Yeah, so they bought that. Well done to Joseph for that. It's something that he wanted to do for a very long time. He had, which means you can develop the way you want. The money comes to you, and you don't have to pay rent, for example, to the city. And
by the way, that stadium does not look like a French stadium. It looks like one of those traditional English old school championship stadium.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, where they were not that great, they didn't have to be that great. Nice are in terrible form.
Stop picking on Jim Ratcliffe.
Yeah, no, it's true. But Otton Edouard with 2 goals to keep them at the top. They were under pressure because PSG had won, obviously, the night before. So they are winter champions for the first time in a very long time. And with only the league to play for, really, and I guess the French Cup, but the league to play for in the second half of the season, they're saying like, hey, why not keeping this for as long as possible? So good for them.
Who has a better chance of winning the league, Lens or Aston Villa? I know you're going to say neither has a good chance, but
No. I think both of them are very much in the title race.
but if you could only back one, Lens.
Yeah, because they don't play in Europe, whereas Villa would go far in the Europa League, obviously. So I think it might be tricky at some point for Villa to play in all those competitions, whereas for Lens, it's just the league, basically. Time for some madness, Gab. Lazio go down to 9 men against Parma and still manage to score and win 1-0.
So, yeah, it's pretty remarkable. They say playing 10v9 is difficult. Okay, fine. Or, sorry, 11v10 is difficult.
Yeah.
Playing 11v9 should not be difficult at all because it literally means that somebody is always open, right? Your goalkeeper's in goal. And yet, they get caught in transition, they fall asleep, and Noslin scoring the goal. Now, here's the fun fact for you. I don't know, have you seen this before? A team
No, never.
9 against 11?
9 against 11 and scoring.
Okay, you know who has seen it before?
Tell me.
And who has been a part of it for Alessio Romagnoli, played for Lazio in this game.
Yeah.
And he played the only other time it's ever happened in Serie A. Back in 2017, he was playing for Milan when Milan, then coached by Vincenzo Montella, came back and did the same thing, 9v11. Keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Let's talk more madness, Jules.
Yeah.
7 goals, 4 red cards. Auxerre against Lille was something else.
Yeah, it was Auxerre's anniversary, 120 years of existence for the club. And it was a great occasion. To be fair, it was a cruel defeat for them. They lost 4-3 in this crazy, crazy game. And they probably deserved better than that really heartbreaking defeat. But it was just everything that you could have seen. 2 red cards at the set for players like fighting with each other. So first 2 reds, 1 for each team at the same time. Goals galore from 1-0 to Lille, then 1-1, then 2-1, then 2-2, then 3-2 for Lille, 3-3, then Lille scored 4-3. It was just incredible. The third and fourth red cards coming late in the second half. It was just 2 penalties, just incredible stuff.
I know Giroud was watching from wherever he is right now.
Yes.
Probably high above us. I wonder if that little rain that came down, I wonder if that was just a little tear trickling down his cheek.
Let's talk World Cup now. Footballer Supporters Europe says that fans are being betrayed by high prices, but this one is a bit different, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, like, when do football supporters organizations ever say, yeah, these prices are fair, we like them? No, wait, they're too low. But I think this offers some insight because we hear a lot about it, dynamic pricing, fans being ripped off, blah, blah, blah. This is different because at every World Cup game, 16% of the tickets are split between the 2 teams. So they're not being sold via the lottery or via FIFA.com. You get them from your own national association. And those are the fans, by the way. If you ever wonder, like at a World Cup, why isn't it, a bunch of Qatari, well, not Qatari in the case of Qatar, but why are there fans from these countries actually there in Qatar or whatever? It's not that they go and buy the tickets randomly. They get the tickets from the federation because those 8%, those are the guys you generally see behind the goals where they're more visible on television, they're more colorful. So obviously these are rank and file supporters. They're people who follow their teams everywhere, and they're supposed to get subsidized tickets. Well, we don't know what some of the major federations are going to, and their major federations say they're not making any money off this. They're passing on whatever they get them from FIFA for, they're passing them on. But Croatia's leaked, and the cheapest ticket to watch Croatia, if you get your ticket via the Croatian FA, is $265, and that's for Cat 3, going up to $500 or $700. Now, I don't want to be moralistic about it, but the fans who are behind the goal, who add color to the game, this is what makes the World Cup.
Yeah,
we should go out of our way to make sure that they're there, that they're bringing the color and they're bringing the atmosphere. I'm easier on dynamic pricing because I know that in the end, it's FIFA keeps saying, well, but all the cost of the tickets, blah, 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 ends up going to the 211 member federations. I accept that. And I accept the fact that most people who go to a World Cup are very wealthy people. And that's fine. I get that. However, in this case, that 8%, FIFA should take another look at this. They should go out of their way to make sure that these people, these are the people who buy tickets to watch the national team. These are the people who travel away with the national team. Vast majority of these people come from countries where the cost of living is much, much lower than the US. It's already expensive for them to be there.
Yeah.
For you to then gouge them $265 for Cat 3 ticket, when they are the reason people, and it's such a big TV spectacle and whatever, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
I would expect the federations to band together and say, we want our fans there. It's only 8% of the tickets or 16% in total for each game. Let's negotiate a better deal, because I agree. I agree with football supporters this time. They are being betrayed on this point. Estudiantes are champions of Argentina, Jules, and they did it in the most dramatic fashion. Last-ditch equalizer, followed by penalties. And that injury time equalizer, by the way, coming from a familiar face.
Exactly, yeah. Guido Carrillo, who used to play for Monaco, won the title, obviously, that incredible season when they went far in the Champions League as well with Falcao, and very young Kylian Mbappe scoring in the 91st or 92nd minutes to come back 1-1 away at Racing.
By the way, in case you weren't listening to Jules, a very young Kylian Mbappe. You're talking about what, 6-7 years ago. You're not talking about the time they went further in the Champions League, because that was in 2004. Guido Carrillo's old, but he's not that old.
No. That was 10 years ago. He's 33, so Carrillo was 23. Kylian was 17.
But that's when they reached the semifinal, if I remember, right?
Yeah, and they won the title in 2016-17. So yeah, that long ago, but still there. The goalkeeper for Estudiantes, Muslera, obviously the former Galatasaray and Uruguay international, who saved the penalty in the shootout. Now they play. So this was the Clausura tournament, if you want, and they will play against Platense to be the super champions on December 20th, because you can be super champions in Argentina. But they haven't won a title for a very long time. So well done, Estudiantes, and Juan Sebastian Veron, of course, who is the president of the club.
And I wonder, though, will they then go and play, is it Rosario, who won the other Fugazi thing? That
they didn't want to do the Guard of Honor for. Exactly. Talking about finals, there was obviously the Liga MX final between Tigres and Toluca with André Pierre Gignac, that also finished in dramatic fashion on penalty, etc. And Toluca won that after the second leg on last night it was. So well done to both Toluca and Estudiantes for the titles.
I feel Gignac went to Mexico like 10 years ago.
I know, 40s now. He's won 5 titles. It would have been his 6th title.
How old is he?
He's scored 40. He scored the first goal. It's a deflected free kick that goes in. Toluca, who I think have been the better team anyway, better than Tigre overall the season, not just in this game or even over the 2 legs. But yeah, it was very tense, as you would expect, obviously.
And I assume he's still gigantic and one-footed.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. My boys, PSG face Flamengo in the Intercontinental Cup on Wednesday night in Qatar. Gab, remind everybody why they're getting another chance to call themselves world champions.
What, since they screwed up the last one against Chelsea?
We let Chelsea win.
Yeah, so this is going to seem weird to people, and this is the reason all those guys were arrested. Luis Enrique cares about these trophies. So basically, FIFA had signed a longer-term contract for this competition, which was the Club World Cup until very recently, where you get the winner of the continental champion or continental title in each confederation. And they many years ago, they used to go to Japan, and they've been going to the Gulf since. The thing is, FIFA have a contract with these people, and there's stadiums there that they need to fill. So FIFA decided, no, let's have a Club World Cup in the summer in the US. It's going to be great. Oh, what do we do about this other thing, which we also call Club World Cup? I don't know. Let's rename it Intercontinental Cup, since we can't scrap it because we have a contract. And it's where we get to give out more trophies, more bling. And that's essentially what it becomes, because you have a playoff between 2 of the kind of crummy teams. And then well, first of all, the European winner only plays 1 game, the final, which is what they're going to play against Flamengo. But then I find this fascinating. You have the CONCACAF champion against a CONMEBOL champion. They win the Derby of the Americas Cup. You have the African Asian Pacific Cup, because just in case Auckland managed to beat somebody, they don't. They lost 3-0, I think, to Al Ahly or Pyramids. Anyway, Pyramids beat Al Ahly 3-1. Pyramids, of course, as the name implies, are from Egypt. Where else? Where else with Pyramids? Well, I suppose it could be from Mexico, but
Sprinting, yeah, but
yeah. And then that sets up the Challenger Cup between Flamengo and Pyramids. Flamengo beating Pyramids there. And so Flamengo finally reaching the final against the Intercontinental Cup. You better not screw this up, given everybody's well rested.
I know, I agree.